So one of the things I wish someone told me early on is be smart. Be smart with my money, be smart with the people I hang around, be smart with the decisions I make. If you can take a step back from your initial reaction to act on something or to fall into a trap of trying to impress people, you will make it a lot further than most people in life. And this took me a while to learn because for a while I got sucked into the same trap that most young guys get into when they start first making money. When I was 14, 15, I had made my first 70 grand and I knew that I wanted to buy a car and that this car was going to be either a BMW, an Audi, or some really fast thing that would impress all the chicks. So it comes around and I go to the Audi dealership and I buy an Audi A4. Once I had bought this car, I thought that pulling up to school when it started was going to impress everyone around me, that the girl that I liked was going to start talking to me, and that my homies would think that suddenly I was the shit. And boy, was I wrong. I go to school, and the only comments that I got were, "Is that daddy's money? How much did your mom pay for that?" And no one believed me that I had paid for my first car, even though I showed them my business online. They just didn't want to believe it. And all of my success to other people had looked like it was some external force of my privilege. No matter how much you try and convince people that you are worthy or you are somebody, unless you can look at yourself in the mirror first, none of that is going to matter. And so, taking a step back, if I had made different decisions, if I had said, okay, instead of spending all this money on this really sweet car, how can I make better decisions for me 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Things that don't need to impress people right away, but I know that in the long term, it will benefit me more, but it's a harder decision in the short term. And I remember really vividly, someone came up to me at one of my mom's events and said, "Look at this, it's a ledger." And it was showing me all about crypto, how ETH and Bitcoin and all these things were the future. And I didn't want to believe him. And I was just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, I'm going to get my Audi and that's where I want to put my money right now. But looking back and saying, okay, if I had listened, if I had actually put a small percentage of investing in a future version of Quinn, that I don't need to touch that money. I mean, you're 16, 15, whatever, you have no overhead. You have no obligations towards like paying rent or having to worry about day to day life stress of food and whatnot. So, if I could give any advice, it would be to not focus so much on these short term vanity things. And it goes a long way, right? In followers, think more about how you can make an impact over 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. If you're focusing about these viral hacks of how do I make the most money, how do I generate as much income within a month as fast as possible, I'm here to tell you that that stuff works for a second, but what you're really seeking is a way to repeat this over time and time again, and that comes from trust. Trust from people seeing you go from rags to riches to going from in your apartment to working up to your dream studio because they know that you showed up every day for 3, 4 years. Those are the types of creators that I want to follow. And I think if you can work towards that mindset of falling in love with the process, you'll be a lot more successful, and something I wish I stuck with. Early on, I had that opportunity to say, okay, I had this very fast growth for my personal brand from 0 to 100K within like 3 months. And I quickly gave up on it because I felt the very fast momentum shift. But if I had stuck with it in from 2018 to 2025, imagine where that would have led now. Or if I hadn't run away from the feeling of being uncomfortable looking at the camera when I first wanted to start YouTube in 2018, and instead just said, this is hard, but I'm going to do it anyway. Look how much that would have shaped me now. And maybe I would have been a better editor because I don't want to put all that time into this right now. But besides the point, do the hard things, make the hard decisions that might not feel like they are working for you from the outside perspective right away, but over time, that stuff does compound and mean a lot. So 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, even 20-year-olds, wherever you are in your life, look at the long picture. And yeah, man, who knows where Quinn goes in 2030 if he sticks with these YouTube videos. Only one way to find out. Peace.